Rebecca here with The Makeup Effect. I'm super stoked to be creating this video today because it is a tutorial for one of my favorite looks. I posted a photo of this look on Instagram a while back. You guys loved it and asked for a tutorial, and I was like, hell yeah, I love this look. I love these colors, so let's do it. If you follow me on social media at all, you know that lately I have been obsessed with the Rust Melt Stack and the Kat Von D Serpentina palette. I know a lot of people feel like this type of look is very fall, but I would wear it every single day. I'm also really excited because I discovered a new brand. Well, they're not new, but they're new to me. They're called MOTD Cosmetics, and they specialize in luxury vegan makeup brushes. I have one of the sets with me today, and it's gonna be kind of like a first impression slash review slash here's how I would use the brushes type video. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. MOTD was kind enough to also give us a coupon code. So stay tuned till the end and I will share that with you for 10% off. So if you like this look and are curious about the MOTD brushes along with the Rust Stack and the Serpentina palette, let's hang out and I'll show you what I think. So first things first, I'm always going to prime the eyes, and today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Mineral Eyeshadow Primer. I'm not super in love with this or really connected to it, so if you have a better recommendation, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm going to start laying down my transition colors, and I'm just going to kind of work my way through the Melt Rust Stack. I'm going to be using Miss Shady Lady to start building out my crease. First color on deck is the shade called Classic. It's just a very light yellow, and I'm going to use this as just a base to start laying down on my crease. Next up from the Rust Stack is the shade Antique, which again is another matte shade, and it's a really beautiful kind of a peachy color. I'm still using Miss Shady Lady from MOTD to apply this crease color. I am going to make sure I start pulling this color a little bit out past my crease and almost to the tip of my brow. So this is creating a really nice transition base for all the colors I'm going to start laying on top of my crease. Next, I'm going to be using the shade Rubbish from the Melt Rust Stack, and I'm going to use this a little bit more concentrated in my crease to give that definition. So from here, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. I'm not done with the crease, but I'm going to move to building up color on my lid and start working that up to transition into the crease and then blowing out the crease a little bit more. I'm going to be using MOTD's brush called Pigment Packer and Kat Von D's shade Blood Milk from the Serpentina palette, and I'm just going to really start pressing that all over my lid, really packing that color on. This really is one of my favorite Kat Von D shades because it's so soft and smooth and it just applies so well. So now that I've really packed on a lot of that color onto the lid, I'm going to start working on pulling it up into the crease, and for that I'm going to switch over to MOTD's Eye Catching Crease. I'm going to use the same color Blood Milk and just start working it up into the crease. This might be my new favorite brush for crease work. I love how tapered it is. This is a brush that I have been missing in my collection, and it blends everything really, really well. Still using my eye-catching crease brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Hieroglyph from the Kat Von D Serpentina palette. It's a shimmery, burnt, orangey rust color, and I just love it. And I'm going to keep using this color to really blow out the crease. I am shocked over how much control this crease brush gives me. Like, I don't know, I still want a fluffier version of this, but I didn't expect to be able to build out the crease this much with how tapered this brush is. When I'm wanting to really blow out a crease, but I want to make sure it looks really diffused, just take your little brush and keep pulling. I'm doing little circular motions, and keep pulling it out past the perimeter of your work. So you just kind of keep blending and blending and keep using those circular motions so that way it looks nice and diffused and blended and not a harsh stop. Before I go back in and add a little more depth to the crease, I'm going to pick up the shade Classic again from the Rust Stack, and using Miss Shady Lady, I just want to buff and soften out the edges of my crease so that it looks a little bit more diffused. All right, cool beans, this is coming together really nicely. So I'm going to switch back to my eye-catching crease brush and dip into Queen from the Serpentina palette and just keep blending this into my crease. I'm going to be a little more concentrated in the center of my crease this time because I really want to kind of reel it back in and bring depth to the center of the crease. Next, I'm going to grab my Lily Lolo. It's a black eyeliner pencil. I love this because it's very inky and smudgy, and then it dries down really well. So I'm just going to take this, make a quick little line because I'm going to go back and smudge it so it doesn't have to be perfect. So to smudge this guy out, I'm going to be using the No Fudge Just Smudge brush and the shade Ink. And I'm just gonna blend that sucker out. Actually, just kidding, I changed my mind. I'm gonna use Pencil Me In instead because I realized I need something a little bit more aggressive. I always like to make sure I go back in and blend in that little pocket here. Like I said earlier, this pocket always tends to get overlooked. Don't be afraid to just pick up random brushes that you've already used. You don't always have to add more color to them, but you can just take them and go back and use them to help blend and move around product. And that's how you get these really beautiful diffused looks, is by going back and forth in between the different shades and the different brushes and keep blending. It's all about blending. You can never blend too much. I firmly believe that. All right, I'm about ready to go with my eyeliner, so I want to make sure I give my lashes a good curl. And they actually make, this is called Just Browsing. It's got a flat top and it is for brows. I do think using this type of brush is pretty cool for applying brow product. I personally prefer an angled brush, but I think this is perfect for eyeliner and especially tight lining, so that's what I'm going to use it for today. Y'all know how I feel about tight lining, so today I'm going to be using my holy grail for tight lining, which is the ColourPop Gel Liner in Swerve. And I'm just gonna load up my brush and make sure I really wiggle and press this color in between my lashes from the underside. I really want my color to pop. I don't wanna bog it down with a really heavy liner, so I'm just gonna use the Pick Up Line brush and a little bit of the gel liner from ColourPop to make a very thin line, very close to the lash line. But I'm gonna go back with the brush that I used to tight line, and I'm just gonna lightly run over my liner so it just really helps to soften it. All right, top lid is done, so now we're gonna switch and focus on the lower lid. For my lower lid, I'm gonna start with Antique Shadow, which is one of the colors I used in my crease. I'm also gonna be using the Miss Shady Lady brush, and I'm gonna start applying this color all over the bottom lid. I'm also going to add on a little hieroglyph to intensify the orange underneath. And then with the pencil brush, I'm going to take a little more of Blood Milk, the matte red color from the Serpentina palette, and place it just right in the center of the lower lash line. When you keep the color in the center and build out, it's going to make your eyes appear more round. And I'm going back and blending with a little more hieroglyph. Using the pencil smudge brush and the shade Rust from the Rust stack, I'm gonna go ahead and shade the outer portion of my lower lash line. And I really wanna make sure that I'm taking this and bringing it up and connecting it with the work that I did on my lid. And then just to make sure that I'm bringing this up and rounding it out, I'm not adding any more color to the Miss Shady Lady brush. I'm just softening and bringing it up and blending. Using the No Fudge Just Smudge brush, I'm also going to use the shade Rot. So you'll see I'm just kind of creating this line here, and I'm going to soften it and just shading it kind of under the fold of my lower lash line. And then lastly, I'm going to take the same Lily Lolo black eyeliner and just line the inner waterline of my lower lash line. And then I always like to go back and just kind of soften the edges of where the liner meets the lash line to help soften and diffuse. And I'm just using that little smudge brush to do that. All right, eyes are nearly done. I like to do the mascara last. You can also do lashes too if you want. But now I'm gonna move on to the face. So I'm gonna start by priming, and I love the CoverFX Illuminating Primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on all over. This is hands down one of my freaking favorite primers ever. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Lock-It foundation from Kat Von D in the shade Light 46. And I'm also gonna be mixing it with a little bit of the CoverFX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. I am gonna try applying this foundation with the brush called Beauty and the Base. I love how dense this is. This is actually a really gorgeous brush. To be totally honest, I am nervous to use this with my foundation because I am obsessed with my beauty blender. So I'm a little skeptical going into this, especially because the Kat Von D foundation is a lot heavier and thicker. So let's see. Okay, wow. I'm really impressed with this brush. I feel like the brush moves the product around really well, and like, I don't know, it doesn't collect in any areas on my skin. Wow, that gives a really beautiful finish. Nicely done. All right, cool. Now I'm really stoked because I was already excited for this concealer brush, but if I love the foundation brush that much, this concealer brush is gonna rock my world. This is the Conceal Your Secret brush. I love dome-shaped concealer brushes like this. They are great for buffing in concealer and making it just look airbrushed. So let's do this. For concealer, I'm going to be using two of the Kat Von D concealer shades, the L11 Neutral and then also the Whiteout. So I'm just going to take this and in my normal fashion, Take it around the eyes, down around the nose, a little on the chin, above the lip, down the nose, and on the forehead. Then I'm gonna follow up with the whiteout concealer. Same areas, and then I'm just gonna use it sparingly under the eyes. And then we'll just blend in. Yeah, this brush is everything I thought it would be. I love this. Awesome, love it. Okay, so this little guy called Mr. Handyman is actually, you can use for all over eyeshadow, but I'm gonna use it for baking today. I'm just gonna load this up in the Kat Von D translucent powder, which is an amazing translucent powder, by the way. And I'm just gonna set it to right underneath the eyes and then anywhere else that I get oily. All right, so while I'm baking, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows. And I typically, like I said, I like to use angled brushes, but what the hell, I'm gonna go ahead and give the MOTD Just Browsing brush a try. This is a flat top brush, so again, going into this a little bit skeptical because I'm very particular about how I do my brows, but let's go ahead and try it. And I'll be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in the shade Auburn. And I'm just gonna make little flicks in through here. Because this is so long, it makes it a little bit more difficult to go in and get those little natural hair strokes. What I like about this brush is this is a great way to do your brows if you're in a hurry because it does cover a lot of ground. If I was traveling, I would probably like this for how quickly I could get my brows done. So here's a side-by-side comparison of a complete brow and one that's just waiting to be tamed. So when it comes time for me to remove all of my baked powder, I like to dust it off with a foundation powder because I find that it helps eliminate any fear of having that white cast or that white flashback when you take photos. I'm gonna be applying this with the Set and Go powder brush. I really love Kat Von D's foundation powder. It gives great coverage without being too heavy, and I'm gonna be using the shade Light 44. For my highlighter, I'm gonna be applying it with the Mr. Handyman brush. That's the same brush that I used to bake, to apply the baking powder earlier. And I think I'm gonna use Pink Heart from the Anastasia Moonchild kit. For contour, MOTD makes this nifty little brush called Supermodel Sculpt. I really like how dense these bristles are, but they still have some give, so I'm hopeful this is gonna be a really great contour brush. For contour today, I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'll be using the shades Java and Fawn. Okay, I'm gonna use the lighter color, which is this matte shade called Fawn, and I'm just gonna apply this through the hollows of my cheek. So if you make a fish face, you just want to follow that hollowed out area, and that's exactly where your contour should go. I'm going to switch over to the darker shade Java because I find that this brush actually does a really good job of keeping you from applying too much color. Wow, that gives you a lot of control. It's really easy to go way too heavy-handed with the contour. So I'm really majorly impressed with a lot of these brushes. They give you a lot of control over where you're putting down the color. Yeah, see, a lot of times I use Fawn first to kind of help act as that transition shade, but because of how much control I have with this brush, I can actually just go straight into that dark color and it won't look too heavy or too muddy. All right, so I will also take this color just right in and around that hairline. Look at all my little grays. It's funny, I don't hate them. I remember when, what was that show? The one where they would trick you into like making you get rid of all your clothes and buy nicer clothes. What not to wear, that's what it's called. She always had that little gray streak, and I've contemplated letting these little guys grow out, but we'll see. I don't do too much sculpting on the chin because you just have to be careful in natural light that it can look really heavy, but I'm just gonna do a little bit. And then a nice, easy way to help cut that bronzer so it looks really chiseled, you can go back with a foundation powder. I'm gonna use the same sculpting brush, and I'm just gonna cut right underneath it so it makes it nice and defined. Boom shakalaka. So the last brush for me to play with is their Get Cheeky With It brush. This is a really cute little blush brush. And I'm gonna use the color Holiday from ColourPop. That's really pretty. All right, mascara and lips, and we're done. Today I'm gonna be using the Red Apple lipstick. It's called the Lash Project Mascara, and then also the one from Lily Lolo. So I really love the Red Apple lipstick Lash Project Mascara. That's the one I'm applying now. This one is great for length. I wish it gave more volume, but it's supposed to really condition and keep the lashes very healthy and help promote growth. So I'm gonna give this one a shot and see how it does over the next month. Here's a side by side. This has the Red Apple lipstick mascara and this one does not. All right, now I'm gonna go back and slather on the Lily Lolo to help really give some thickness and volume. All right, we're almost done. Next is lips. I'm gonna be using the shade Dahlia from Pretty Zombie Cosmetics. This is one of my favorite lip colors. And then oddly enough, I really like their smudge brush to actually help clean up around the lip line. I think this is gonna be my new official lip brush. I know it's for smudging, but this is really great with lipstick. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As you can tell, like I said, I'm in love with the Rustac and the Serpentina palette. So I'd love to see what you guys are creating with those palettes. Don't forget to hashtag TheMakeupEffect so I can check out your work. As far as these brushes go, I'm like super duper in love. For me, the hero products were definitely these two crease brushes, the tapered crease brush and then the shader. These guys I was actually super impressed with. The other surprise hero for me was the smudge brush, and actually not for smudging. If I want to use something for smudging, I would probably reach for their pencil brush. I did really like this for smudging out liner or using any type of just dark color in the outer corner or at the lash line. But the smudge brush, I really liked for lipstick. The fact that it's just kind of short and curved and thin, like this is amazing for lipstick application. MOTD was kind enough to give us a coupon code, so make sure that when you check out, you use the code TheMakeupEffect and you get to save 10%. And also the price point is really good. The prices range from like $9 to $16. I think most of the eye brushes are around $12 and the face brushes are around $16, which in and of itself is, I think, really affordable for the quality that you get. They also have some really great bundles, and I always recommend to people that if you're in the market for new brushes and you need enough brushes to justify it, buy it in the bundle because it ends up being a lot cheaper. So like their biggest bundle is I think $120. You get this super cute little canvas makeup bag, and then you get 14 of their brushes for $120. So that ends up shaking out to like $8 and change per brush. And then I think they also have like a face collection and an eye collection, and I think those are around $70. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe. And don't forget, you can find me on all social media at TheMakeupEffect. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.